Hello everyone, Dave here back with another video. Uh, we're doing something different today. We're doing a tier list. I've always been, let me move my mic real quick. I've always been a big fan of tier lists. Um, I don't really know if they're actually still popular or relevant at this point in time, but I've always enjoyed them, and I think that they're a very fun and like concrete and definitive way of why do I have a pop up? Sorry about that. A definitive way of expressing your thoughts on a certain subject and like putting it out there pretty easily, I guess. Um, I I've I've been in a rut when I've been trying to think of like ideas for videos, and I thought, you know what, here's a fun way to try it. I love listening to tier lists. I thought maybe I'd try making some of my own. I know we probably want to get into the heavy hitters of anime and manga and whatever. But I thought for this first go at it, this first crack at it, we'll start easy. Another big thing that I really enjoy is K-pop. um, Not that I enjoy it more or less than any other form of music, but just something about K-pop lends itself well to ranking, to discussion, because there are so many groups um, of different styles, so many groups in the same style. It lends itself well to discussion of like why this group is good, why this group may not be so good, this, that, and the third. So yeah, let's just get into it. Disclaimer: I obviously have not listened to every K-pop group in the world. I feel like I have a decent knowledge, but admittedly, I probably don't have that many that are going to be going on here. Um, but if you guys have a recommendation of who I should be listening to, feel free to let me know in the comments. Also, you'll notice I only have S through C. Um, Maybe I'm a little naive, but I haven't listened to a K-pop group overall that I think is bad. Um, there are songs by some of these groups that I may not be so high on, but like the group as a whole really hasn't been bad. So S obviously is like top tier. These are my favorite groups that have songs like they haven't released a song that I thought was bad, and some of their songs, even if they're ones that I may not love, they're still ones that I really like. A tier are groups that I really enjoy. Maybe they've released a song or two that I wasn't so high on, but overall, they're groups that I think are really good and I really like a lot. Maybe they're not an S tier yet because they're a little newer. Haven't heard a huge catalog from them. I'll make that call when I get there. B tier are groups, again, that I like, but I'm just not super into. I can see why people like them. And again, they're still B, so they're not like bad in my opinion. B doesn't stand for bad, by the way. B just stands for B. So like there's still groups that I get why people like them. I've listened to some of their stuff and I enjoy it, but I don't listen to them nearly as much as A or S. And C tier, again, is not a bad thing. It's just groups that I've literally only listened to one song. I was thinking about putting a fourth tier of haven't listened to yet, but then it would just be pretty much every other group. So I'll just do the list with ones that I have listened to, and then if it isn't on this list, then you can just assume, well, Dave hasn't gotten around to it yet. But that's what the comments are for. If you guys want to recommend me a group or a song, feel free to do that. So enough, talking. We've been going for 4 minutes already, and I haven't done a darn thing. So let's get to it. This is in no order either. I just went through what was on this tier list and just put in the ones that I know up front. So first we have six. I'm gonna put them in C because I've only heard their song "Cinema." However, that song is so good. I love the melody. I love the chorus. I think it's a very fun song. I enjoy it. It's a nice like nighttime drive song, but it is unfortunately their only song that I have listened to at this current point. Twice is gonna go into A tier. A tier. I don't really know why I was toying with B. I feel like a lot of these are gonna end up in A tier, so I kind of wanted to try to be a little more judicious. But Twice is A tier. I love their music. Again, I haven't listened to every Twice song. And they may have, if I went through the discography, of ones that I have listened to, they may have one or two that I really wasn't, super high on, but a lot of their songs are fun. They're cute. They're a big group, so there's, a lot that goes into their choreography. I mean, you got to do choreography for like 9 members are in Twice. So there's a lot of interesting stuff that you can do with 9 people all dancing together. So, um, it's a pretty good it's a pretty good time listening to a Twice song. Some of my favorites are Can't Stop Me. uh I like their oh god eight one why am I spacing on the name? The Tell Me What You Want, Tell Me What You Need. That song. I'm bad at singing, but I can't. Why can I not remember the titles? I'm bad with titles, but you get it. I love that song. There are many others that I really love by then. We're going to keep going. I've already embarrassed myself enough. Ab 6, good on putting C tier. I've listened, again, same thing with 6. Only listened to one song, but the one song I have listened to, I really liked. I think it was called like 123 or something like that. Really catchy melody, very fun, kind of cute chorus, very poppy. A lot of fun there. ITZY is right into S tier. I love ITZY. Their stuff is so good. I really like some of their comebacks, like Sneakers, and what was the other one that people really didn't like? Boys Like You. Like people really didn't like those. Or well, I shouldn't say people didn't like them like it's a definitive fact, but like I've heard that they weren't popular. They're a little too poppy, a little too childish, whatever. Um, to be honest, as a 26, almost 27-year-old man who listens to almost entirely metal besides K-pop, I freaking love those songs, dude. I think there's maybe just the juxtaposition. I can't always listen to guys screaming about, death and all these crazy things all the time. Like sometimes you got to listen to something goofy and silly and cute and fun. And those songs provide that in spades. So, and even they're not, candy bubblegum pop type stuff like their songs closer to their debut. The song that got me into ITZY wasn't one of those. I got into them a little bit later. Voltage, I think, was the one that got me into them. So that was pretty semi recent, I think, too. So I the fun thing about K-pop is because I got into it relatively late. Um, so like it feels like I've been listening to these groups for years, but really I haven't been. I've just been listening to years worth of music in a very short amount of time. Um, but yeah, so I really love ITZY. I love their stuff. I love. I've listened to their English tracks and their Korean tracks, and yeah, I really love ITZY. They're one of my favorites. Pentagon, it's going to go in the same C tier as 6 and Ab 6. The same reason is I've only heard one song by them, but the song I liked, Shine, or the song I've heard rather, Shine, I really liked. Um, I know their history was kind of weird because Dawn got like kicked out because he was dating. Oh, I hope I don't mispronounce her name. Hana. I apologize if I did. I'm bad with names. Obviously, as you could tell, I forgot friggin' twice the name of their song. Um, but yeah, I think that was stupid. I think a lot of rules that go into K-pop are kind of dumb, but I'm not here to harp on that right now. We're just talking about the music, just talking about the bands. But yeah, so their history was kind of, a little crazy. I think they're still together. I think they're still making music. Um, but I haven't really heard or seen much of them. I've listened to that one song and I really liked it, and that's pretty much it. For them. Next, we have another straight S tier, and that's Le Sserafim. I love Le Sserafim. I really, 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 really like Le Sserafim. Their songs are just so. I mean, one, they're just so good. Um, but two, I think their songs have like, how do I describe it? Like just like a really cool twist on them. Like Anti Fragile has this like reggaeton style to it, which I don't think. many people have done, at least in K-pop, and their new what just happened? Why is their music playing? That was weird. I apologize for that. I don't know. I don't even know where that came from. I hope. I wonder if you guys heard that. You probably did. Don't know what that was about. Um. Anyway, so I'm sorry about that. So back to Le Seraphim, and then their new Unforgiven is just so. I mean, again, their their lyrics are great. Their vocals are great. Their dancing is great. All of it is just top tier in those departments. Um, their songs are just so catchy. No Celestial is one of my favorites. That chorus is so just like it like lifts you up almost. It's got like a power to it, you know. Um, and it's just very cool. I think they're a very good group. I also watched their videos. I forget what channel it was for, but it was three of the members. I'm not gonna. I was Sakura. I was gonna try to avoid pronouncing names because I know I'm gonna butcher it, but it was three of the members. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce names, and I'm too embarrassed to try. But they were like showing kids of multiple nationalities like how to become friends and like how to introduce yourself, and that was adorable, and that was so sweet, and especially in this day and age we need more positive videos like that. So not only was I a fan of their music, but that video made me a fan of them as individuals, because I think they're um I think they're they seem to be very kind and knowledgeable young women. And I really am excited to see where their career continues to go. I think they're phenomenal at what they do, and I'm a huge fan of Le Seraphim. I really, really like their stuff. Um, Next, we've got Shiny. I noticed there's none in the B tier, and as much as it pains me to do it, because they probably should be in A, I'm going to put them in B. Not just because there wasn't anything, but because um, Shiny should be here, to be honest, because they were the group that got me into K-pop. But honestly, their discography, a lot of it is right up my alley, but some of it isn't. So that's why they're here. Again, this is not, this doesn't hate on them. Um, Again, they're the group that got me into K-pop, so I appreciate that. They have a lot of really great songs, like going back to their older stuff, and then of course their newer stuff. After losing, gosh, again, bad with names, but if you guys know Shiny, you know what I'm talking about. One of their members unfortunately passed away, which is heartbreaking. And that album, like, it was around that time I got into Shiny, and then like I got into their music, and then hearing about, oh my, wow, there's supposed to be five members, because I read the comments, everybody's talking about rest in peace, these sort of things. So I went back and checked out some of their older stuff, and then so it was it definitely is heartbreaking whenever someone passes away, and someone who meant that much to so many people and had such like a profound impact on not only their group but like K-pop and everything as a whole. So it's very unfortunate that sort of thing happens, and continues to happen, unfortunately. And that's another thing. Some aspects of K-pop might need to be looked at a little bit more heavily, because these poor kids, young people are you know taking their lives, unfortunately, because of whether it's pressure or just like I don't know. I don't know what specifically it is, but again, I don't want to make it dark or anything. Again, I'm just talking about the music here. um, their song Sherlock is super catchy. Their album, oh gosh, what was the name on it? But it had Retro, it had Chemistry, um, um, oh god, I gotta look up the name of the song. I should have done my research and had this a little more prepared, but I unfortunately did not. But let me just double check this real quick. Replay is a classic. I mean, that came out back in 2008. The Story of Light is the album I'm referring to. And Countless is such a good song. That's another song similar to Six. Six's song Cinema, where it's a great nighttime drive song and you just chill and vibe with it. It's, yeah, they're a great group, and I really like Shiny a lot. Um, and if some of their other songs kind of resonated with me a bit more, I might put them in A tier. But for as of right now, I'll put them in B tier. B tier again is still phenomenal. Does not mean bad. Does not mean that they're like terrible. It just means that they're in B tier for me. Next, we've got G Idol. Again, gonna put them in C. I've only heard one song by them, and that was Nude. But I really liked that song. I thought it was a great message. I'm all for, I love women. I'm all for female empowerment. I love, that women, are I'm trying to figure out the terminology I'm trying to use. I just love seeing women do badass women things. Yeah. So, and speaking of badass women, Blackpink, that's S tier for me. I love Blackpink. They're yeah, because I was gonna say there are a few songs of theirs that I'm not like the highest on, so maybe I will put them in A tier. Again, that's like not a demotion. I mean, I guess it technically is a demotion, but it's not like, oh, I hate these guys or whatever. It's like one or two of their songs. I'm kind of like like ITZY and LE SSERAFIM are here because, to my knowledge, or at least of what I've listened to, I haven't ever listened to a song by them that I've disliked. And there's been a Blackpink song or two where I necessarily haven't even disliked it, but I'm like, that one's all right. So again, A tier is still great, but I love Blackpink. I really do love Blackpink a lot. I've watched their documentary on Netflix, I think, like at least twice. And I just find their story to be so interesting. I find them to be interesting people. And I think they just have a great sound. The way that they're able to mix their the girl boss, type music, and the, kind of candy bubblegum pop type music and everything, I think is a very good kind of yin yang juxtaposition with one another. So, I think they're good, and people definitely agree. I mean, they're one of the most popular groups in the world. Got7 going in C tier. Again, only one song, and that was, again, forget the name, but you guys know the one, the one with and they're all tiny, and then they're in the little girl's room, which is kind of a weird concept now that I think about it, but it's like meh, 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 like that one. That chorus, even if you can even call that a chorus, like it just gets stuck in my head, and it's very catchy, and I like the message that they were going for. I think in retrospect that video isn't necessarily weird, but it does kind of, it's like, seven grown ass men in a girl's bedroom. That's a little odd, but whatever. Moving on. April. Again, one group that has one song that I liked. I'm gonna try to look it up quick, do some on the fly stuff. I do know that this group disbanded, I want to say, because of like bullying stuff. Could be wrong about that, but if that is the truth, that's really unfortunate, and it makes me, not really want to support them very much. But that one song, which I can't seem to find right now, is very good, and I do like that one song a lot. So, I mean, at this point, what even is this video? If you guys have stuck around this long, I appreciate it. This video is just kind of, again, like I said, a test, but it is what it is. um, I can't remember the name of the song. I apologize. That's very unprofessional of me. NCT, again, C tier. One song, Kick It. Thought it was really good. Actually, I guess technically two songs, because like NCT Dream had that song. Hot. Not Hot. That was 17. The one one of their newest ones, or at least new at the time of recording this, which is also very catchy. But I don't know if that technically counts because, well, I mean, I guess it counts because they're all NCT, but whatever. Good group. A little too big of a group for me to keep track of. Honestly, there are so many members in that freaking group. Whoops, my bad. And it's just hard to keep up with. So, I'll listen to what I listen to. If anyone recommends me a certain song, I'll feel free to listen to it. But they're not a group that I keep up with too much. Stray Kids. This one might get me a little bit of slack, but I haven't listened to a whole lot of Stray Kids. I've listened to more than one song, but to be honest, I just am not the biggest fan. They're a group that I get. I get why people like them. I did say that exact same description for B tier, so I guess I can move them up to B tier. Like B tier, I did say in the beginning that it's a tier for groups that I get why people like them. I just personally don't. Then again, and this isn't me saying I dislike them. This is just me saying that I don't listen to them as much as other groups. But I like some of their stuff. God's Menu with the do. Like that's, I mean, a good ad lib is always gonna get me. I love that. They have a few good songs that I do think are decent. Just nothing that I keep coming back to. And honestly, just some of their stuff just really doesn't, isn't for me. But again, it's nothing bad about Stray Kids, just kind of how I feel about them. Next, we have BTS. This might be a basic pick, but I mean, they're S tier. It's BTS. Come on. Like, some of their music is not only my favorite BTS songs, but like some of my favorite songs ever. Like I love like obviously you've got Butter, you've got Dynamite, you've got like a lot of their more famous tracks, DNA. I mean all their tracks are technically famous with how big this group is, but I even love some of their like lesser known songs. Like Walian 52 is one of my favorite songs of all time. I love that chorus. It's so catchy. It's so vibe. Like it's such a vibe. It's so chill. And Black Swan is probably my favorite BTS song. I remember I went out to visit a friend of mine, like when I first started getting into BTS. He lived about 40 minutes away from me. And I put on Black Swan and I listened to it once and I was like, man, that's such a good song. Let me listen to it again. And then I listened to it again and I was like, okay, cool. That's still such a good song. Yeah, let's do a third time's the charm. I listened to it, and then next thing I knew, I drove all the way there, and I listened to the same song on repeat for 40 minutes. So I mean, I just love their music. I think they're all super talented. I love how they're not only talented at doing what they do, but they also have such a big hand in their own lyric writing and their production, which I feel like not a whole lot of other groups do. I could be wrong about that. So forgive me if I am, but I feel like they're pretty unique in that aspect where they do a lot of their own stuff, which is very cool. NMIX is going to be C tier. Again, only one song, and that's, I think, as of recording, their newest one, the Love Me Like That song. Fun chorus, but that's pretty much it. TXT, Tomorrow by Together. I'm bouncing between the two. I don't know. I'm gonna put them in B tier for now because I really like some of their stuff. Some of their other songs don't really vibe with me too much. But I have nothing against them, and I definitely think they could be an A, but I also don't listen to them nearly as much as groups like Twice and Blackpink. But I really do like Tomorrow by Together. Their song Magic, of course, is very catchy and fun. Their debut, I forget what it was called. I'm so bad with names. I feel so silly right now. But their debut song, Crown, that's what it was called. I really like that song. I love the chorus. And I think I think they're just a really solid group. They did a cover of Replay actually by Shiny, which I think was phenomenal. And I really wish that they actually released that onto like Spotify or whatever, because I would listen to that constantly because that was such a good performance. Next we have weekly. I'm gonna. This might be a little weird, but I'm gonna put them in B tier as well. A lot of people kind of were hating on their concept change when they released. I believe Venpara is the name of that EP. Um, I definitely get it. Going from like after school to that is a big change for them, but I didn't hate it. I really liked it. I just am a fan of badass women being badass, and I thought that was cool. I don't know what they're up to now. I know one of their members departed the group due to health issues, which I totally support. It was like anxiety, I believe it was, and as someone who has massive amounts of anxiety, I can totally get behind someone taking time off for themselves. So I can definitely support that. But it's kind of ever since that, I at least to my knowledge, they really haven't released a whole lot, if anything. I don't know, and that's kind of also why they're in B tiers because I haven't been keeping up with them as much as I should. But After School is such a good song. Their one song, well, like everything off of Venpara, I actually really liked. Um, their song, Holiday Party, I'm sorry, is what it is called. Um, I really liked that song too. I'm accidentally playing Venpara, so that's not good. So apologies on that. But yeah, that whole EP was good. Even though the change was weird, I understand that. But I still really liked it, and I still really like Weekly, and I hope they come back soon. Um, I feel like the screen might get a little weird here. Oh wait, hold on. Is this Red Velvet? I don't know their logo. I apologize if I'm wrong because this kind of looks like an R and a V, and it's got a ribbon. So again, I could be wrong on this, but we're just gonna pretend this is Red Velvet. If it's not, I'm gonna put them in A tier. Their song "Marionette" is a banger. I really love "Feel My Rhythm." That is so catchy and so cute, and just such an elegant just I don't know, it's just so pretty. Like it's just like Red Velvet is just such a pretty band. Like in their song, obviously the members are very gorgeous as well, but like their music aspects of it, it's just they're all just very pretty. I like that. I like feeling elegant. Love feeling like a princess when I listen to Red Velvet. And I'm not gonna feel shame for that. I know who I am. I know what I'm about. Um, all right, so let's see here. The screen might get a little weird because I'm going to scroll down because I don't know if because there are groups that I know that I'm missing that I want to talk about, but I haven't seen their logo. So if I'm missing a logo, or if I scroll over it without paying attention, I am very sorry. I'm not super familiar. Obviously, I'm not good with the song titles, so I'm definitely not going to be very good with the logos either. So we'll just scroll back up here and we'll just talk about a few other groups. One of those being XG. XG, I would put in. I definitely think they're gonna be an S tier, but I think just because as of right now they have such a small discography, I think I would have to put them in A tier. But every song I've heard by XG have been phenomenal. I think what was I saying? I think their like dichotomy between them being, I want to say, technically Japanese because they're owned by a Japanese company, and I think some of their members are Japanese too. But being owned or operated or ran some form of Japan, and then being based in South Korea, but doing most, if not all, of their songs so far in English, I think is this really interesting like cultural mishmash. So you get a lot of really interesting songs, a lot of interesting like mashes when it comes to genre. Of course, you've got your pop, and then your like kind of R&B, some hip hop influences in there as well. Um, so I think it just makes for some really great music, and I think they're gonna, they're blowing up very quickly, well deserved. I think they're gonna continue to be incredible. I mean, their cipher is just pound for pound, just straight bars. So their rap line, I already really like enjoy their rap line, and then I actually listened to the cipher first before I even knew that they were a group. And then I started listening to their actual music, and I just fell in love with it. It's so much fun. It's so catchy. It's so cute, and it's just a fun listen. Um, and then I hope I'm not forgetting anyone, but the only other group I can think of is New Jeans, and I'm gonna put I would if I missed their logo down here, I apologize. But if I did have them, I would probably put them in B tier. Um, I what I've listened to I've liked, but I haven't listened to a whole lot. But it has been more than one song, so I wouldn't really put them in C tier. But I haven't listened to them nearly as much as these A tier groups. So they would definitely go in B tier. I do really like their music. I think they're again a fun group to listen to, um, and I think I don't know. I just think they're very solid. They have this very youthful energy, which makes sense because all of the members are very young, which you know is kind of an interesting thing because I feel like some of these idols debut a little young. You want to give these kids their childhood too before they, do 10 plus years of uninterrupted work. But again, that's a conversation for another day. Um, but yeah, I really like what I've heard by them. Again, it's got a very youthful energy, which is cool. Like for example, Hype Boy, their like dance performance for that, like feel obviously it's choreographed, but it feels unchoreographed. If that makes any sense. Now, and I'm not at all saying like it feels like oh nobody put effort into this. Like that's not at all what I'm saying. Like the way that they're kind of all I don't know, it just feels like friends dancing together rather than just dancing for a performance, if that makes any sense. That's just kind of the vibe I get from that discography in particular, like choreography, not discography, excuse me. Um, so that choreography just again adds to this kind of youthful energy, which I think is very prevalent in New Jeans' music, and I think that's just kind of a fun thing to bring to the songs and to the music. And then lastly, we have again, if I didn't see their logo, I apologize. We have Dreamcatcher. I would probably also put them in B, but I really could see myself going to A with them if I listened to more of their stuff, but I just unfortunately haven't gotten around to it yet. But I really love Dreamcatcher. I love their mix of rock and everything. And again, like I mentioned earlier, I'm a big metal guy, so definitely hearing some kind of rock and not necessarily heavy, but heavier, I guess, than the norm aspects in the music really adds, this extra layer to their style for me, and I really like them a lot. Dami is one of my favorite like rappers in K-pop. I think she's got a great flow, and I love her solo song, "Beautiful." Um, I think that's also very catchy. It's very like Avril Lavigne type, which I think is very cool. And definitely, takes me back a little bit. Um, but yeah, I think that might be everything. Upon looking over my list, and obviously we're missing a few, but I listen to a lot of girl groups. I actually think I like the girl groups more than a lot of the male groups. Like I said, I'm a big fan of badass women doing badass things. So like I do love me some good girl boss stuff. But I also just love cute music, and I think again it's what I said earlier. Like I listen to metal all the time. Sometimes you want something cute and fun, and a lot of the female groups in K-pop have that in spades. So I really enjoy K-pop a lot. Again, I'm not the most knowledgeable. I don't know the correct pronunciations of some of the members' names. I, sometimes forget song titles, things like that. So if I said anything in the video that was wrong, first off, I apologize. And secondly, feel free to correct me in the comments below. I'm in the grand scheme, I've been listening to K-pop since I want to say like 2017. So it's been a little while, but overall, in the grand scheme of things, I'm still very new to it. So please feel free to educate me. Very kind. I hope kindly, but also feel free to just like let me know. Oh, hey Dave, this is actually this, and you said this wrong, but whatever. And also feel free to recommend me any music too. I obviously have these groups here that some of these at the bottom I should definitely check out more of. But if there's a group that's not on here entirely, feel free to let me know about that as well. And remember, we had XG, New Jeans, and Dreamcatcher that are not here. If I missed them down below, I apologize. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really love tier lists. I love talking. I'm a big talker. I don't love talking, but I love talking about things I enjoy. So once I get rolling on something, we're at 35 minutes. So once I get rolling on something I legitimately enjoy, it's hard for me to stop. So I'm gonna wrap it up here though, because my throat is starting to get a little dry. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm definitely gonna do more of these on like anime, manga, whatever, stuff that's more in line with the actual channel. But again, we talk about K-pop on here from time to time. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for the support, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.